Hi everyone. As many of you know, I recently switched to Apple ecosystem. iPad Pro was my first Apple device, if we don't count iPods, because that was 10 years ago. So I use a MacBook, but that was given by my company. I never purchased one. So I'm going to talk about why I switched, the impression about display design and build, what did I miss, and what I really like about iOS. So I'll put the timeline of everything so you can skip to the part where you want to watch. Let's talk about why I switched to iOS and why I didn't do this earlier. My first video on this channel was why I didn't buy iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro. I talked about how the design is 3 years old, the iPhone 11 has LCD, iPhone 11 Pro has 60Hz refresh rate, there's no USB-C, the base storage is 64 GB only, and the price. And if we look at it now, nothing has really changed, but I still purchased one. I've been telling myself that I am a tech reviewer now, so I should purchase iPhone. But the real reason is, even if I was not reviewing any devices on YouTube, I would have still purchased one. Believe it or not, my main reason to switch on iOS was Samsung, not Android. I still love Android, but we don't have really great phones this year. Every year I eagerly wait for two devices, S series and Pixel. The Pixel series has always disappointed me and Samsung has started doing the same. See, Samsung is not giving us Snapdragon in India. My last hope this year was Samsung Fan Edition, but they didn't even give us the Snapdragon version there. Yes, we got Pixel 4a, it's a good device, but it's not a flagship and it's not for everyone. And I don't understand why other manufacturers are not trying to make a compact phone. The smallest phone from OnePlus was 6.55 inches. There's no sign of Sony in India, LG is kind of not working, Nokia and Motorola are struggling in flagship market, and I can't use Xiaomi or Realme devices because of their UI. And if you really think about it, Apple and Samsung are the only reliable devices right now. OnePlus is trying really hard, but they're messing up, so if they get the camera right, the problems start arriving in their displays. And I don't know if you agree with me, but OnePlus 8T is kind of boring. It's a great device, but still boring. Samsung is the only brand which is trying to compete with Apple ecosystem. So they have their Galaxy Watch, their phones, their tablets, true wireless earphones, and their collaboration with Microsoft. But the problem is nothing in this is seamless. So connecting the Galaxy Bud Plus with tab and phone was not easy for me. And if you connect your Galaxy Watch with some another device, it resets its settings completely. I loved Samsung, like loved, because of their screen, their innovative design. One UI is much better now. The only problem or the only area where they lack is their chipset, and Exynos 990 was really bad this year. They had to cut down the price so much to sell their devices. They didn't even do this with their S10 or Note 10 series last year. I can go on and on, but you get the gist now. And if we talk about Apple, they're not perfect either. They're thinking about money more than innovation right now. They're playing it safe. The devices are expensive and they're not even giving us the charger brick, and because of them, another companies are going to do the same next year. But there's one thing they have done right, and that is their ecosystem, but I will come back to that later. Let's talk about iPhone 12's build, display and design. I've held iPhone 10, 10s, 11, 11 Pro and I know how they feel, but when I hold iPhone 12 in my hand, it felt light, and I was using Pixel 4a, so that says something. Yes, it's a bit wide compared to S20 and the aspect ratio is different, but the in-hand feel is amazing. I was really excited about the blue color, and I know a lot of you are as well, but I didn't pre-book the device because it looked different in every other video, so I waited and went to the store. After watching the blue color, I felt kind of disappointed. Then I looked for red and it felt like carrot. And green and white color were not my thing, so I had to go for black. I was kind of disappointed with colors, especially blue. I think the main reason of buying iPhone 12 Pro is that matte finish and Pacific blue color. But the price difference in India was so huge that it didn't make sense to me. I will suggest, if you want to buy a blue color, please go into the store and look for the color first. It's a primary blue, so it might not look as same as compared to images. Before talking about the display, I want to talk about that notch. Yes, we hate it, it's been 4 years, boo-hoo. But in reality, after 10 minutes, you might not even notice it. The only place you're going to notice it while watching some videos. But you can also watch those videos in default mode because the aspect ratio is not 20:9. So the black bars are less as compared to a narrower phone. You know, it's not really about the notch, the punch hole and the top or bottom bezels. It's just everyone needs a refresh after a while. For iPhone's user, the notch is getting boring. For people like me, Samsung punch hole is getting boring as well. Samsung phones, even the $250 phones, have the same punch hole design. So I would say don't think about the notch or punch hole, just look for the device. If you think you like it, just buy it. You are either one of the person who are okay with any design or someone who will get bored with one design after a while. You know, one thing I'm still not okay with, that is the lightning port. Trust me, it still gives me nightmare that whether I should buy a new wireless charger, should I go for MagSafe, is it worth it? How many lightning cables should I carry with me, like where to put the charger. I have USB-C charger lying all around my house, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't carry my charger with me because even at my hometown I have USB chargers. Or if I'm traveling, I can just carry one Mac charger and it will charge every device, because my iPad, my Mac, my phone, my Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus, everything gets charged with the USB-C charger. But now I have AirPods and iPhone, so it's just hard. I use my Samsung wireless charger to charge this device so that I don't have to worry about whole day, and I have just one USB lightning port charger that is just behind me. Let's talk about biometrics now. So we know that there is still Face ID, and I'm okay with it, and Apple is going to play safe until there is a better in-display camera sensor technology out there. But do I wish they implemented the Touch ID in the power button? Definitely yes, but hoping this mask situation will go away eventually. In a normal condition, I will choose Face ID over in-display fingerprint sensor, but in most of the cases, I would rather go for a physical fingerprint sensor over any other biometrics. Now let's talk about the display. If they have used the same LCD and the same bezels, I would have never gone for this device. But one thing they did amazing this year, that they're using the OLED panel throughout their series. I love Samsung for their displays, and iPhone is using Samsung's display, so what's not to love about it? They have reduced the bezels a lot, apart from that notch of course. It is sharp and has amazing colors. I know there is no 120Hz or 90Hz refresh rate, and they're trying to make up for it by reducing the animation speed. At first, it will feel slow, even then the 60Hz Android phone, because we can reduce animation there to 0.5x, but here we can't do that. But after that, the experience was smooth, and after 15 minutes, I actually forgot what refresh rate I was using. See, last year I wanted to use 120Hz refresh rate, that's why I didn't buy 11 Pro, but after I used it on S20, I think I'm okay with 60Hz as well, so the switching between them was not really a problem for me. And after a while, I started using 60Hz on my S20 as well because of the battery. This year they have even smaller battery and 5G as well, so I think 120Hz fit impacted their battery life a lot, that's why they didn't put it there. I will not talk about the camera in this video, I will make a dedicated review of it, so if you want to watch that, please subscribe to my channel. Now let's talk about what made it hard for me to switch from Android to iPhone. And the first thing I want to talk about than anything, that was WhatsApp chat. It's not easy to transfer your WhatsApp chats from Android to iOS or iOS to Android. There are some paid software, but I didn't feel like paying for them. And a tip, if you're facing problem on video calling on Wi-Fi on iOS 14, you should enable the local network in the WhatsApp settings. I know it's weird, but it still works. And the picture-in-picture in WhatsApp does not work on other screen, it just works inside the WhatsApp. So if anyone else know how to do that, just let me know as well. Another thing I really missed on this device, that the notification. There's no way to look at them at a glance. You have to go to notification panel. There's no always on display. There's no notification LED. And the notifications are still kind of a mess as compared to Android. You can also chat from the notification in Android, but in WhatsApp, it will just reply to the message and the notification will disappear. The chat function only works in the iPhone messaging app. There are a lot of apps that are missing on the App Store. Like I was using Microsoft SMS Organizer. It's a great app on Android. It organizes your message, filter them out, and do not even notify with the promotional messages. Here you can filter the messages but for the promotional messages you have to mute them manually. The dialer still does not support searching the contacts with the keypad. So I started using search for searching the contacts. It took me some time, but I'm getting used to it. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I think the gestures on Android are better, especially going back. So you can go back from either left or right. In iPhone, you can just go from the very end of the left, or you have to swipe from the left. You cannot do that from right. If you have small hand, it will be a problem for you. Yes, there is a one swipe down home button, but that's also 2 steps, not just one. I'm still getting used to those things, but now I want to talk about what I really like about iOS that made it worth it. I want to start with their ecosystem. It's very well implemented and seamless, and the integration with iCloud is really good. In Samsung, you have to enable the setting to transfer calls between phone and tablets. You have to install a separate software to work with Windows, and if you want to use your Galaxy Buds Plus with your tab and phone, it has to go via a device rather than going via Samsung ID. With iPhone, iPad, Mac and AirPods, it just works seamlessly, so you don't have to do anything to transfer your calls or switching between media on the AirPods. Just a note, for the seamless switching, your device has to be updated to iOS 14, iPad OS 14, and on Mac it has to be on Big Sur. With iOS 14, they also implemented widgets the blank screen option and app library. I know it's not as customizable as compared to Android, but it's a very well balanced implementation. The haptic motor on iPhones has been amazing always, and it's getting better on Android as well, but the feedback you get from iOS, it's great hands down. So they have a new sensor on their back where you can assign in accessibility and one touch setting. So you can assign double tap or triple tap settings. Like I did, on double tap I can lock my phone, and on triple tap I can take a screenshot. So that was my experience with iOS, and it has been less than 1 week. I'm still getting used to it. I still don't like going into settings to change any app setting, but that's a small annoyance. You know what I think about Android and iOS? Don't gang up on me after I say this because that's my way of thinking. So I think Android is really cool and the customizations are limitless, and iOS is for boring people. And I want to quote something that someone said in my comments: the boring is simple and simple is amazing. I will also do an iPhone 12 review and a camera review really soon, so if you want to watch that, please subscribe to my channel. And do let me know about your thoughts about my experience and if you can relate to it. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.